Alright, today is November 15th. I thought I should do a little bit of an update here. I never mentioned what I did here with this cradle. But I did put the 2x6 there and a 2x8 on the inside here to reinforce it. And I used construction adhesive on these and then screwed them every 18 inches or foot or so. And then I cut these 6x6s down to the 5.5 foot width, and those are a couple of great big honking nails in there, 10 or 12 inch nails in there, 3/8 inch diameter spikes. So, and I may wind up putting lag bolt in them too at some point, you know, like before we haul it off, but for now it's pretty solid. Okay, I got the first piece of the keel section, the first timber, that bottom timber is done, or more or less done now. At least all the wood is in there. And I got it cut out. It's upside down. These two pieces here on top are actually the very bottom of the keel. And then that wedge that's cut out of there, that will be a joint. And you can see the piece that's going to go into that joint right here on the table. There's the section that goes in there. And I'm actually starting to work on this piece here that goes in there. That's the piece that's laid up on the sawhorses there. So I got a couple of laminations done today. I got them started anyway. I got that one started, and then the very last glue up on this one done. So, how did it go cutting that angle out? Well, I mean, obviously I had to do this angle work before this piece could be attached. I started out using my big circular saw. I've got a 10 1/4 inch circular saw, and it only cuts, you know, about 4 inches. You know, that depth it'll get is about 4 inches, so it left me 1.5 inches or so that was not cut. And so I used my jigsaw. And I know what you're thinking. A jigsaw? No, you're not going to cut that out with a jigsaw. But this isn't your everyday typical jigsaw. This is an absolute beast. And you can buy 10-inch blades for it. Well, sorry. Keep going that way. And that still doesn't quite get you all the way through. And honestly, I was a little bit nervous when I was doing that cut. I didn't want to cut too close to the line, because I wasn't sure, you know, that jigsaw blade can bend a little bit. And there you can see the piece I cut out. This edge right here, this high edge, was done with the circular saw, and there was another one done on this side of the circular saw. And then I went over it with the jigsaw, and you can see the jigsaw cut all the way through except for, you know, that 1.5 inches right down there. But you can also see it's wider up here, and it didn't cut a perfectly perpendicular cut. It's wider up on this end, got narrower down there, and that's the reason I didn't want to get too excited about trying to, you know, get too close. But anyway, and so I didn't get it too close. So you can see there's a 1 inch to 1.5 inches gap there. Yeah, I just knocked it off with a sledgehammer. But that worked, but it left me a lot of cleanup to do to get that surface, you know, the way it looks now. And I used a power plane. I bought a new hand power plane, and it worked pretty well actually. And then of course I sanded after that. I bought a lot of new tools, and I've got a hand power plane, but it was kind of a cheap one, and so I bought a new hand power plane. That's also a a Bosch, and it works very well. There's the new, and there's my old one. So yeah, it's just a kind of a inexpensive, weak unit there. And I bought a new belt sander the other day. This is a Tashi, or Metabo they call them now. You know, I've got this Rockwell, and it works, still works fine, this old Rockwell here. But the dust collection system wasn't working on it. There's the old dust collector there, and the zipper was broke on it. And so, I don't know what the deal is with it. I've tried cleaning that out, and I can't get any sawdust to come out the dust collector. But it does work, it just throws sawdust everywhere. And I've got a random 5-inch random orbital. And I use the 5-inch random orbital mostly on these surfaces to knock down any high spots. Sometimes I do use the circular saw, put like a 60 or an 80 grit in it, which is kind of a medium grit, and I can knock down any bad areas. But normally it's just the 5-inch random orbital that does the surface on these before I glue them up. But yeah, I use the hand planer, the power hand planer, to clean that up, and then the belt sander, and then probably the circular, the 5-inch random orbital also on it. But it looks pretty good. I mean, you know, before I glued that other piece on, I made sure it was, you know, within the dimensions of what it's supposed to be, and it was. So yeah, I think that's going to work all right. This piece here is going to need to be cut off. I don't know, somewhere in here, wherever it is. But I'll wait with that until I actually get this piece made in wood, which should be next week. But I'll continue laying up that piece, that forward piece, that transition from the flat part of the keel up to the bow. I'll continue working on that and should have that done this week. And I'll start laying up that other big timber that goes on top of this one. And I was kind of debating on how I should do that. If I should try to build it as one big timber like this one and then glue the two timbers together, or if I should just, you know, lay a timber up and up and build it up that way. It probably doesn't really matter one way or the other. The only thing is, it's going to get to be thicker than what some of these pipe clamps are going to be able to reach. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I'll have to get this thing rolled over once this glue up here is dried. I'll have to get this turned over. It's upside down right now. And when I got it turning over, I'll probably sand a little bit on the sides again. I did some sanding already. I don't know if I should. I'll need to fill in, you know, the gaps. You know, like these gaps where the rounded edges are. I'll need to fill those in at some point too, and I don't know if I should do that now or if I should wait until the whole keel is assembled and just do it on its upright. I don't know. Probably be easier to do it if I could roll it over on its side and do it now. But it might be better to wait until the whole thing is done too. Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know. There's a lot bigger decisions than that'll need to be made. But anyway, that first cut went okay. I'm hoping maybe for this one here, because it's got probably the most complex cuts of anything, or close to it anyway. I'm hoping that for this one, it's only 6 layers thick. I'm hoping I could maybe use my bandsaw, my big 17-inch bandsaw, lay it on that roller table and get somebody on the other end and just kind of be careful and, you know, get it close, get it within a 1/4 inch or whatever, and then come back with sanders and in planers to get it the rest of the way. But that might just work. It would be a lot easier than hacking at it the way I did this first piece. But anyway, we'll see. So that is today's update, which is November 15th, I believe it is.